Well, good morning. Sandra, are you there with us?
I am, yes. Morning, Alex.
Good morning, Sandra. I think you're the only one on this morning, so this is the very first one I'm doing, and I'm planning to do these all for the rest of the year. So might be more of a kind of one-to-one personalized session with a bit more focus on kind of what you're doing in terms of yourself as a HR consultant. Great. So a couple of things that we're going to go through today. We're going to look at 4 really good ways that you can generate some credible leads for your business through LinkedIn. I'm going to touch base on LinkedIn searches. So that's the most common method that people use. We're going to look at group searches. So that's finding a congregation point for your target audience in LinkedIn groups. And then thirdly, we've got LinkedIn events where you can, there's another method, again, finding lots of potential prospects. And the fourth method is actually not in LinkedIn. That's using a cold email outreach tool called Apollo. So yeah, all these, the beauty of these 4 methods is they're all free. They're not going to cost you anything. As long as you've got time to kind of follow these steps and watch back the video. So this is going to be recorded. It's also live on LinkedIn as well on my channel. I'm going to show you a bonus as well, which is something called ProspectFinder, and that's a tool that's within the Leadeth software. Just to, if anyone watching might be interested in that tool, it kind of saves you doing it in lots of different places and just find the prospects in one channel. So we're going to do a bit of screen sharing today, very interactive. So if there's anything you don't understand or don't follow, just interrupt me and we can go through it. So let's kick off with, let me find the right tab. LinkedIn, bear with me. It will be slicker. As I do more and more of these, it'll improve, I promise you. So this is where it all starts. This is a little LinkedIn post that I came across recently by a guy called Daniel Hooper, and he outlines the marketing and sales funnel. And it's a very kind of straightforward thing. You've probably come across it lots of times, but it starts at the very top of this funnel, and that's your potential clients. They've got maybe no awareness that they need HR services. They might have quite a lot of awareness around the problems, okay? And it's understanding kind of where they're at in this journey. And then you kind of have to tailor your marketing and your outreach to kind of where they're at. So I'll try and apply it to the kind of the HR principles. So once they've acknowledged that, yep, we've got an issue, we've got a problem with HR, they're then going to go to the next stage of the funnel, and that is interest. So finding a bit more information about you and whether you can solve their problems. And we call this bit the top of the funnel. So this is the lead generation phase, which I love the most. It's kind of attracting those new clients. Obviously, if you've already got existing clients, it's much easier to retain existing clients, as you probably are aware. And the cost to you is it doesn't cost you anything to kind of look after those and service those existing clients. So a lot of customers I find really struggle with getting new clients, and it really just drives them insane. They just don't know what to do, how to get these new clients. So it's when you start to understand this marketing funnel, it just becomes, it starts to light bulbs light up in your head, and you think, yeah, this is what I need to be doing. I can understand the journey, and then you can eventually kind of map out that customer journey, so you know where they're going from to where they're going to, and you're the guide. You're here to help them on their journey in whatever that might be, whether it's establishing just the services that you offer to them. Further down in the funnel, you've got the middle of the funnel, and that's the section where they're kind of evaluating things that will help. That are customer testimonials. So on LinkedIn, you can request your existing clients to write you a testimonial. I can show you how to do that if you're not sure, but that adds a lot more credibility, so they can see you as the industry leader, the person that's helping people out in their HR issues, and that affects the next customer's buying decision and their journey, because they're like, yeah, Sandra's the pro here. She knows what she's talking about, and I can see the feedback. It's a no-brainer to get in touch with her and go down to the next stage of the funnel, which is the bottom of the funnel, and that's where we we're seeing that sales conversion. So whether that's a sales call that you might have with them to then get them to sign up and sign a contract or whatever that might be. And at the very bottom of the funnel, it's this whole flywheel effect. So the bottom, again, loyalty and advocacy. So encouraging them to write your testimonial, and that's going to help people drive more people into the top of the funnel. So yeah, it's kind of like a continuous flywheel effect here. So I just thought I'd share that because that puts a bit of overview onto kind of what we're trying to achieve. So we're focusing on trying to attract new clients right at the top of this funnel and generate leads, generate potential prospects. So the 4 tactics that we're looking at today are LinkedIn searches. So this is, I'm just in LinkedIn, just a basic search is what we're going to do. So there is something called LinkedIn Premium. That's a subscription that I'm on at the moment. It's only because I've got it free for 3 months through LinkedIn because I'm a content creator. But I prefer the Sales Navigator subscription. That is, it's quite pricey at £80 a month. But the beauty is you can try it out free for 30 days. You just have to verify with a credit card. They don't take any money. You can cancel it off straight away. And it opens up a lot more filters. And when we talk about filters, we're talking about finding people. So Sandra, what's your perfect ideal client? Say, who would you like to be connected with? What kind of job role would they be in? Would it be some existing head of HR looking for some specialist support, or would it be just a business owner who's got not many staff and they're just trying to scale up their HR efforts?
Yeah, exactly that. So the business owner from startup up to 50 employees. So it's a business owner.
Okay. So you can type in here, search like this, owner. Some people put it in brackets if they want to. I'll show you why we do that. Or managing director. So what that will search for is not just all directors, but it will just search for the managing director if that's an important keyword for you. You could do or director. That would work well as well. And then you can also use these what we call not statements in the search. So I could put not retired because you don't want to speak to anyone that's retired. So that's just a quick search. What I'm going to do is click see all search results on this. And do you know much about the degrees of connection on LinkedIn?
First, second, third. I usually choose the second. Yeah.
So your second degree connection. You've already got some mutual connections between you. So someone who knows them, and it's a very easy link to connect to a second degree connection. When you start going for third degree connections, it's a little bit more tricky and much harder. So what we can do in here is within that search, we've got a big list of all the things that we can search for on the LinkedIn platform. And I'm going to just choose people because we want to interact with individuals. People buy from people, not from companies as such. So this is on a kind of personal level. So clicking onto people, the first option here, we've got connections. We can go down to that second degree connections. I mean, it could be you've got some low hanging fruit in your first degree network, and that's always quite good. So that could be people you've connected with inadvertently over the years. I mean, I've been on LinkedIn for kind of well over 10 years now or so. I've built up a huge network of about kind of 9,000 connections, all mainly business owners and professionals in the UK. But there's probably some people there that are ready to buy from me, but I've just not reached out to them. So first degree campaigns, never overlook your existing connections, your first degree, because you've already got access to their inbox. You've got their information. You can pick up the phone to them. So they're very, very easy prospects to market to. We're going to go for this example. We're just going to choose second degree connections. We can click show results, and straight away, we've got 814,000 results. That's the whole LinkedIn network, but just the second degree people that I could reach out to. And that's based on my fairly substantial network that I've grown. What we can do as well is we can filter this down. So location might be important to you. So I'm going to just choose, see what England does. Again, that's probably quite a wide search, and it's all about narrowing down this search, getting just the people that we want to be talking to. So straight away, that's brought the results down by about half, which is not surprising because most of my network is UK based. So it's far too many. I mean, I could start to pick off some of these people and start to make inroads with them, but it's probably a bit too wide for me. So I'm going to just type in a couple of things here, because Dorchester's where I'm based. So that will probably yield me maybe, probably less than 100 results. Oh, quite a few, even in my local town. There's 600 people running businesses, all different size businesses, which is quite impressive. I've never spoken to most of these. I only recognized one of them. So yeah, a huge opportunity just even in my local town, which is quite impressive number. And when we look at that funnel, we try to do a bit of maths. And when we start to look at the numbers, and it'll help us to understand how many people we need to talk to then get meetings from, to then convert into clients. And when you start to measure what you're doing with any marketing, you can kind of predict how many clients you can get within a certain time period by the number of leads that you've connected with. So a lot of people talk about challenges or doing so many in a certain day. Obviously, LinkedIn, there is this limitation to connect with people on LinkedIn of 100 per week. So if you set yourself a target of, I want to connect with 100 new people per week, that's my target. It's very easy. It's just 20 per day. And then if you have that as your focus and your goal, you will start to see progress. So the way we connect to these people through the search, this is a very manual process, and I'm all about automating things. And I'll show you towards the end of this demo a bit of my software that how it works quite effectively to kind of automate all these processes. But what we can see here, for example, we've got all filters. We could filter this data a little bit more. We've got industry filters here. So professional services, construction, manufacturing, let's choose those, show results. And those industry filters are really good because they help you to kind of niche down and be a bit more targeted in your approach, because it could be on your connection message. So yeah, that brought the number of prospects down to 247. So yeah, a lot of people here. Where do I start? But yeah, presumably they've all got something credible. Now, I know Cresta Leisure, they're a local firm selling swimming pool supplies and hot tubs and things like that. So that could be, there's already an open connection there to him, but he's not accepted that one yet. Let's have a look at these further down here. So I mean, they're all credible business. I mean, this is a construction firm. Construction's not my target market, so I'm trying to find something that would be kind of up my sleeve a little bit more. Here we go. So this is quite cool. An embroidery firm delivering a physical product and service to other local businesses. So B2B is kind of what I enjoy the most. So the way I would manually approach this is I would go to connect. Okay, and we've got an option here. We can add a note to personalize our invitation to Glenn. So we can actually go to add a note. And that note really helps us to be a bit more specific, a bit more personalized, a bit more quirky in our approach. Now, we are limited to 300 characters on the invitation message, and there's nothing stopping you getting a bit of a template here and then copy and pasting that template. So some that I've used in the past is, hi, Glenn. I notice we have, so it actually says we've got 55 mutual connections on LinkedIn, and that could be a nice intro. Because I know Glenn's also based in the same town as me, I could also pick up on that. So it's picking up on these commonalities. He's also kind of in the marketing kind of industry in terms of marketing. Presumably he's Jurassic Embroidery, presumably some sort of marketing service. So in the same sort of area as what I operate as well. So this could be mutual connections and things to get talking about straight off. This is very much not about selling your services, selling your HR services straight away on the invitation. We don't do that. You've got to kind of warm them up. So we need to become their first degree connection first and send a lot of follow-up messages. So I've had clients with campaigns of 7 touch points, 7 messages, and those 7 messages are just kind of warm-up messages, and they don't respond until that 7th message, or so we're kind of drip feeding them content. These are just touch points. And when we talk about touch points, another touch point could be just viewing Glenn's profile. So if we right click on that, we can actually open it in a new window. Sometimes LinkedIn restricts the number of searches you can do. So by opening it in a new tab or a new, I'll just show you. and that opens it up here, and we don't lose our existing search and have to go back to that existing search. So that stays open. We can come back to Glenn's profile here, have a quick read through if we wanted to. Obviously, if you're doing your 20 a day or your 100 a week, you might not have the time to kind of read through these in a lot of detail. So most people just kind of read the above the fold, independent distributor. Yeah, just make sure it's a good fit for you. And then if he is, then go to connect, put in that personalized message, and then you could say, hi, Glenn, notice we've got 55 mutual connections, and you're also in Dorchester. Would love to connect with other local business owners, whatever that intro looks like. And that probably takes you about 20 seconds, 30 seconds if you can do copy and paste. There's some clever tools like plugins for Chrome called Magical. Magical is really good because you can actually start to type a keyword and then it will pre-populate this message for you to save you quite a lot of time if you're sending the similar sort of message out. But surely if you're connecting to 20 people on a highly personalized basis, typically we would expect around about 50% of those people to then accept your connection request rate. So that's 50 new people every week that you're adding to your first degree network, and they're going to be looking at your content on LinkedIn. They're going to be kind of be driven down that marketing funnel, and that's what we want. We want ideally to have a meeting at the end of this, or someone to say, yeah, saw your content, saw this, what you were doing. It resonated with me. Let's have a chat about this issue that I'm facing. So yeah, and a lot of these conversations are we go into the pain points that they might be having. One big thing is to just go to a Google search and search for the top 5 challenges of that specific industry. That was a really good technique that I learned a number of years ago. So if it was a chiropractor, you'd search for top 5 challenges of chiropractors, and straight away in Google, let's just do it. Top 5 challenges chiropractors. My spelling is atrocious. Even more specifying it to the UK on that. So yeah, there's loads of articles that come up. Seven biggest challenges faced by chiropractors. That was 2021. So that's probably the most recent one there, the first second post. And straight away, we can see here, chiropractors are misunderstood, underappreciated in the medical community. Many people don't understand what a chiropractor does. So this gives us quite a bit of insight into an industry that you might not be working with yet. So when you start to incorporate their pain points in your messaging, it's going to resonate with them. Really is something's going to stick up, and they think, actually, I'm facing that in my business right now. And you're saying you can help me with that problem. It's going to be a no-brainer for them to get in touch and have a conversation with you. So that's just another approach that I tend to use, a very much industry-specific approach, but can yield really good results in terms of getting those first meetings. So that's kind of LinkedIn searches. Obviously, you just work down that list of invites, and then people will start to come back to you in the LinkedIn inbox. And yeah, it's all about kind of driving them down, creating more connections on LinkedIn, and opening up more opportunities for you going forward. The next one we're going to look at is the group searches. So that's any questions on people searches, Sandra?
No, not at the moment. That's quite straightforward. Right. Yeah, thank you.
And that's, as I say, that's quite a manual process. You can automate all of that. So you can set up what we call a campaign, but I'll touch on that at the end if there's time. So a group search works really good. So for me, I'm looking for marketeers and kind of people in marketing. So I can just search the word marketing in LinkedIn. So there's a brand new search. And what we've got here is we've got our old people search. So we don't want the people search. We're going to change this one here and go for a group search. So we can actually search for groups on LinkedIn. So a little bit like you may have come across Facebook groups. That was quite big in its day, but I think they're losing a lot of traction now. But still, a lot of people use Facebook groups. You might be a member of a few. So what the idea of a group is, it's I call it a congregation point. It's where people are coming together with a common thread or common keyword or theme in mind. And it could be that your target audience are just perfect people for the people you need to be reaching out to. So if I'm trying to reach out to marketeers, the chances are a lot of them are going to be sat in this B2B marketing UK group. Now, I'm actually a member of this group. So if it's a group you're not yet a member of, there'll be a little join button. So you can join the group. An administrator in the group would then approve your request. And then as soon as you're in the group, you can actually start to add content to that group. And from time to time, you might want to add a bit of content. If you're already creating content for your website and creating content for social media, it's a no-brainer, let's recycle that content and put it out to the groups. But more importantly, we're talking about free ways of connecting with more people here, generating leads. So within this group, I can see 7,976 potentially marketeers. And straight away, I can go into these people. And that's the beauty of joining groups. You've got a more refined list of people. Sometimes the smaller groups yield better results because they can be a bit more, I just find you get better results, and the more specific you can be, the better. And I'm guessing there's quite a few kind of HR related groups on LinkedIn. So have a search, have a play around with that. But it's the same process. With a group, you can actually send a message. So that whole invitation connection request to a secondary connection doesn't quite work. The fact that you're part of the same group as them means you can send them a direct message, and it's a message because you're both members of the same group. So you could say, hi, Roxy, I noticed we're both part of the B2B marketing group, just trying to build up my network with other marketers. How about we connect? Keep it friendly, keep it short. They say 15 to 50 words is ideal for a LinkedIn message. Anything over that, and you're going to kind of put people off. They're not going to be too interested. So that's groups, and the group strategy. We've seen some really good, fantastic campaigns as a result of it. The benefits of group campaigns is it sits outside of that 100 a week or 20 a day rate. So you can actually target more people faster by going through all these people in the group, messaging them. So it's a way to hit more leads quicker. So that's why a lot of people like the group technique. And similarly, which goes to our third technique to kind of grab leads from LinkedIn, and that's using LinkedIn events. So if we come out and go back a space. So I'm now going to search for marketing events in probably in the UK, see what comes up. Apologies, my internet is a little bit slow today. I've rebooted the router 3 times. It's quite frustrating. So instead of the groups filter, we've actually got one that says events. So we can actually search for marketing related events that are taking place on LinkedIn. And some of these are just sites to forward to other event sites like Eventbrite or so some of them, most of the events on LinkedIn are actually free events. You don't actually pay through LinkedIn to go to them. A lot of them are digital events. They're actually face-to-face events. So you can actually sign up to any of these events, but you don't have to turn up. I'll show you how this works. So I'm just trying to find marketing. If I put the word UK in, oh, my internet really is dodgy. Just trying to find a suitable event. Let's get to the second page. WhatsApp marketing. Some of them are there's lots of different things going on here. All sorts of marketing. There's no reason why you can't, if you see like a competitor or someone else doing an event, it's a good opportunity to hop into that event and then start to target clients that they've attracted. So they've spent all the money at trying to get those clients into the top of their funnel, and you then can harness them off, which is quite a common tactic that's done. So this is an event here. This is actually an audio event. LinkedIn have different types of events. Some of them are online live, some of them are audio events, some of them are take you off to a Zoom meeting. So once you click attend that event, then you'll see a list of all the attendees. So you see an attendee list. So at the moment, there's 1,393 attendees there. And as soon as I click that I'm attending that event, I'll just see what happens if I do. Yeah, thanks for sending you a notification when it starts. Now I can click on the attendees and I can see exactly who's going. So yeah, marketing director, second degree network to me, they're perfect for me. They're in my sort of target audience. That's who I want to speak to. Again, we've got someone, the founder of a media company providing marketing services, probably similar to what I'm doing, but not so direct in terms of what they're doing with all the full range of services. Yeah, so lots of potential prospects here that I can pick off. And if I'm doing my 20 a day, or, you know, as I say, this is outside the 20 a day, so I could target 100 of these and just blitz it, you know, get 100 invites out for that day and see what sort of results I get. And it's remembering to measure it. So that's kind of a bit of a crash course on where to go in LinkedIn to find those prospects. So have a go at second degree networks, reaching out to people that are just on there. LinkedIn groups, again, great if you can join as many HR groups as you can today and just get yourself in those groups. It's going to set you up. And then also LinkedIn events. So it could be you're part of an industry network or a industry body or something like that. They often host events and conferences and things. And some of those are actually on LinkedIn. So you can actually say you're attending such and such, could be a HR conference in the UK or something. And that might connect you with all your kind of peers, and it might just help you kind of build out your network a bit better. So that's kind of LinkedIn. We've then got another way, because some people aren't receptive to LinkedIn messages all the time and they just ignore them. So how do you get around that problem? The way you get around that problem is trying a completely different marketing outreach method. So my go-to next is email marketing. And nowadays you can combine a lot of LinkedIn and email marketing together, which is quite nice. So I think I've got a webinar coming up where I talk about the approaches on following up via email. And by the way, if you're concerned about GDPR, a LinkedIn connection, they're kind of giving consent for you to look at their profile, look at their email address, otherwise they wouldn't make that physically available. So under GDPR, I see that as legitimate consent to then drop them a courteous email, just say, hey, we've connected on LinkedIn. Here are my contact details. You can be a bit more direct in a cold email, and people kind of expectant. They are used to receiving lots of kind of businessy type emails, and often kind of elevating pitches and sales pitches through email. So they're quite used to it. So it might work better having an email campaign over a LinkedIn campaign. But if you combine them two together, you've got this catch-all thing, which works really effectively. So one really good tool that I've been using for managing email marketing, this is quite a technical tool. It's called Apollo, apollo.io. And I haven't got any discount codes or anything for it, but it's a really good system. I'll just show you kind of some of the campaigns that I've built in Apollo. So the first thing, top of that funnel, where do we find those leads? Obviously, we've got our leads within LinkedIn, and there are ways of, so people, as they start to connect to you within your network, let's just go to some of these. Apologies if I'm picking on someone and they're watching the video and it's them. Here we go. So my most recent connection, let's have a look at her, Alessandra. Luxury business destination. So it's like a travel agent, I'm thinking, consultant. So within her contact, we've got a contact info box on the box here. So we've actually got her business email address. She's provided that on LinkedIn. We've also got a mobile number, which is great, fantastic. If you're including a phone call as part of your outreach. So you've connected on LinkedIn, you've sent them a nice courteous email, a phone call. You know, if you're doing 20 of those phone calls a day, just to introduce yourself, that is going to really add so much value to what you do and help speed up that relationship building process. Some people are not open to a phone call, but so it depends on kind of how you go about it and when you time those phone calls. But normally just a quick phone call to say, yeah, we've connected recently on LinkedIn, just sent you an email, just making sure you got it, or just to see if there's anything else I can help you with or signpost you to, or anything like that can really help. So yeah, so there we go. That's where we collect the email addresses from. And obviously there are software tools that scrape all those email addresses for the people you've connected with. So you can kind of import them into a tool like Apollo. Now, if you haven't got many connections, or not many people have connected with you yet, you can actually use a free data repository within Apollo. So once you've logged into the Apollo, this is the dashboard, you go to search, and it's very similar to LinkedIn search. If you're familiar with Sales Navigator, it's kind of a lot more filters. So it helps you to be a bit more specific about who you want to try and target, who you want to try and find. So for me, people, I've actually created what we call a persona. And a persona, it's basically like a pre-setting, just a setting with all the people that I want to find. Mine comes up here, marketing leaders. So I've got 15,000. Ideally, I'd like to refine that down a bit more, down to a couple of hundred, and have a really focused, targeted list of people. The beauty of this is you've got a predefined range. So I can say, right, I love the SMEs. So the 1 to 10s, that's going to whittle the numbers down to just 3,000. I think you mentioned earlier the size of the business is quite important. Again, location. So for this, we can target a specific area. So I'm going to try Dorset, see if it comes up as a county-wide thing. Sometimes counties get a bit funny with software, so you do have to sometimes just put in towns or things like that. Next biggest town near me, I guess, is Bournemouth. Let's see what comes up. There we go. Bournemouth comes up as a place. It's about a 20-minute drive for me. So as we can see, we've got a list of all these prospects, marketing directors specifically in the Bournemouth area. And I've got, this is a much more niche list here that I've managed to generate, 29. So the way Apollo works is their pricing plan is you can subscribe and you get like 600 what they call credits per month. But the free plan gives you 50 credits per month. So that's 50 new people that you can reach out to every month via email, which is fantastic. The majority of the profiles in Apollo, they also have LinkedIn, links to their LinkedIn profiles as well, which is fantastic as well. So if I wanted to tap into this first one, this Rachel here from Center VR, and she ticked all the boxes for me. We can go into that and tick access email. That now uses up one of my credits on my account, and then it should pull back her email address. Okay, so it's actually got her email address for me and it's verified it. And I can add her to a campaign. And that's basically how it works. With the free version, you are limited to 25 per page. So you have to literally select all 25 here on this page. And then you can export them out. You can add them to a sequence. So when we talk about sequence, we're just talking about a series of emails that follow maybe one day after another. So for me, just to show you what it looks like, I've built out a simple sequence here, Marketing Directors UK. Also got an older one that I've used. Highly targeted. So I've got personalized, what I call icebreakers. So, someone's trying to join. Let's close that. So one campaign I've done, 930 were delivered. Okay. My open rate is 60%. So 60% of those 930 emails have actually been opened. Now, industry average is normally about 2 to 4% open rates, which is, that's pretty good, a 2 to 4% open rate. And then if you think about those that are actually replying or interested, that drops down a bit more. So I love it that Apollo kind of comes up with the stats here, and you can see straight away in the campaign how many are opening. And it is a bit of a numbers game. So if you're pushing out 1,000 emails, you know roughly what the open rates are, and I've got a kind of a 1% interested emails. So those are the people that have responded positively, and there's triggers that automatically trigger that, or if they've opted out, it triggers an opt out. But those that have interested and have booked meetings, and I do that through Calendly, sending them a Calendly link, and then they book in. So yeah, really good system. You can A/B split test in the paid plans. So for me, I've got just a very basic email here, which I create. I don't even have any fancy signatures. You don't want too much really fancy email marketing or anything like that, because it'll get caught up in spam. It'll affect the deliverability of the campaigns. So for me, yep, a very, very straightforward email, just inviting them, telling them a kind of average clients book 40 to 60 book calls per month per LinkedIn account. So we're confident of abilities and willing to offer a 14-day free trial. A PS is always quite good if you include that, just a short thing there. We can get you up and running in 30 minutes. That works quite effectively. And you can actually see how many get delivered, how many reply to that message against kind of the follow-up messages. So I've got a day 2 message, a day 5 message, and then a kind of final day 6 message in the campaigns. But you can just craft as many as you like, set up a sequence. And the beauty is with things like AI, you don't need to employ a professional copywriter. If you've not got the budget, if you're a small business like me and you can't splash out on the skills of that sort of talent, AI is a great option. You tell it kind of what you're looking for. Say I'm looking for an email subject and an email body. I'm a HR agent offering these services. This is my website, and then the AI would then spit out all the email body that you want, and you can actually put in personalization and stuff like that. So that's what a lot of people are doing these days. I've just recently done one. I'll show you my most recent campaign here. So this is for marketing directors in the UK. If we go to the 15 that have been delivered already, some of them are quite recent this morning. Here we go. So this is Carly, tried LinkedIn marketing, ? This is actually a follow-up email. Just wanted to come back to my email. So yeah, I just want to show you the first email in the sequence, if I can, bear with me. There we go. So these are kind of the first email in the sequences down here. Because this went out yesterday at 2 o'clock. Hey Tom, I love that Solve Web Media has created an integrated solution to website design and digital marketing. So it's very personalized, clear from the amazing customer feedback that Solve provides an incredibly professional, reliable. So that is what we call AI generated text, and that's my icebreaker. So that's generated uniquely based on this person's LinkedIn profile. So we basically have a third-party system that we use to generate these AI things, but it is done on automation. So I can just send 100 emails out and it'll actually generate this first liner. I've never been caught out by it yet. I've used some clever location ones, and they say, oh, I notice you live 6 miles away from this famous monument. And it could be something like that. Or it just really, it breaks the ice in terms of that cold email approach, because nobody likes those kind of, this is what I do, give us a call. So it's trying to kind of warm them up gently and get them interested and hook them in. So yeah, that's what I've been working on kind of with quite a few clients as well. Yeah. There we go. That's 40 minutes, Sandra, of absolute some lead gen gold dust there. I'll just quickly show you the sales engagement tool, the Leadeth tool. So this is what my paid clients would use. They'd use an automation tool like this. It's connected to my LinkedIn account, and we've got a campaign here. So we're actually automating all of those campaigns that you saw me do. So I've got group campaigns, I've got other campaigns. It starts with, where are those prospects? So we've gone through that by identifying the prospects, the list of prospects in LinkedIn. We add them to the system here as a new search. So it's that easy. And then we go and build out a funnel of marketing steps. So for me, the first action is a profile view. We can choose to follow their profile as well, and maybe like their last 3 posts as well. Maybe that's going to give you a bit more visibility and a bit more engagement. Once we've done that step, we send the connection request. So this is all done on autopilot. So your 20 a day is just done whilst you're busy focusing on a client or doing what you do best. It gives you the time back so you can kind of focus your time and attention on your clients. So for me, I've got a specific campaign where I send them a personalized video message, and that really helps with the engagement. If they're connected, we've got a choice. So if we're not connected with them yet, we ask them how the weather is in their location, and then we send them an email. And the email is a bit more salesy. It's kind of, this is what I'm up to, but I would love a 30-minute free strategy session with you with a Calendly link. If we are connected with them, we thank them for connecting, and we look forward to learning more about how we can support them. So that hopefully gets, we've not asked any questions. So an improvement there would be I'd put a question in there just to get a bit of response back to them. And then we've got this here. This is an email. So this goes out as an email again. And just talks about, great that we're now connected on LinkedIn. I want to reach out to you, make sure they've got my full contact details. Feel free to schedule a call in the diary. So with a link if they want to get in touch. So the onus is on them. And we can build out as many different elements to this as we want. So if we want another LinkedIn message a few days later, if they've still not responded, we can add that as a message here, and just put whatever you want in that. So that's how we create those kind of LinkedIn campaigns. And it's obviously there's different types of campaigns. We're seeing some really good results from this technology. In terms of what it looks like on a day-to-day basis, once the campaigns are built, you're just coming into the inbox. And this is a bit like a mirror of your LinkedIn inbox. All the data is securely done through the API at LinkedIn. So for example, here, this is Oliver. So Oliver was a visitor to one of my BNI networking groups, and I sent him an automation message. Here we go. So I've been in touch with him for a number of months. And then I sent him in December, 15th of December, I sent him this message here. This one must have really resonated with him. So he clicked on the message, and it took him to this automatic landing page where it says what I'm about. And I'm actually introducing my LinkedIn service. So Oliver's watched the video. Hi there, I hope you're well. It's Alex here, one of your first degree connections. I've just been looking at your LinkedIn profile and looking at your experience and all your skills and everything. I just thought you'd be a perfect fit for a new service that I've just about to launch, actually. So it's about 30 seconds to a minute long, and this is what we're doing on the Done For You service for clients, providing these videos, and they're overlaid automatically using the software over someone's personal profile. They scroll down and they book a calendar appointment. They have a meeting with you and they become a client. It's that simple. Oliver's just onboarded Oliver yesterday as a new client, which is fantastic. So it works. It does work. LinkedIn marketing definitely works. If I was starting a new business, all my efforts and money would be going into it. But yeah, that's kind of the masterclass. Sorry, I've done a lot of talking this morning. Is there anything, any questions from you, Sandra, at all on what we've gone through?
Yeah, it's all really straightforward. I've learned a lot about the LinkedIn connections on LinkedIn, because I was just searching for my ideal client avatar, going on to second degree connection and just United Kingdom, and that was it really. Yeah. But yeah, I can see there's the groups is useful, and yeah, there's so much more to do. So yeah, the LinkedIn events, I didn't know about that. I've seen the drop down, but I never thought to click on any of those other options. So that's
great.
Broaden my knowledge. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. Yeah. Next week we're going to do a crash course on updating your profile. So we call it priming your profile. So I've actually got a quick slide deck to run through, but we're going to just touch into kind of all the important bits of your profile, because often people's profiles lack clarity, and there's so when someone potentially a new prospect that you've reached out to, the first thing they will do is click on your LinkedIn profile. They'll see your pretty photo, professional headshot. They'll see the nice headline banner, and they'll read that headline bio. And if it's not clear from that headline bio what the next step is, or the problem that you solve, people get confused, and people don't want to just see that you're a HR consultant in Birmingham. People want to know a bit more. So about the problems that you can solve for them. So next week, if you're about, come along to next week's session. We're going to go through that in a lot more detail and stuff. So it should kind of open your eyes to kind of trying to get inbound inquiries. But yeah, that's that we're basically there. We made it. Survived my first masterclass.
I'm glad I came. I really enjoyed it. It's been really useful.
Good. Yeah. Well, fly the flag and get some of your friends along as well. If
I will do.
It'd be nice to start this kind of community of small business owners. We're all just here to help one another and add value to each other where we can. And great. Well, thanks very much, Sandra.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.